Can I put the microphone on you?
This is your tarte aux prunes.
Yeah. How do you say it?
Tarte aux prunes. Tarte aux pruneaux. This is your tarte aux pruneaux. You're surprised?
No.
Why?
I like that it's a bit tart.
Today we're gonna make a cake just because we live in Geneva and that is a public holiday just for us, and I think that's important. So today we are going to make a prune cake. It's more like a tart, but we're gonna make it vegan, of course, and I'm gonna walk you through it. But before we dive in, I'm gonna explain to you the background story of this holiday. So, because this day was all about fasting and being observant and mindful and kind of showing support to the other like-minded people that were going through the same sacrilege and the same pain. In the 16th century, one of the few meals allowed in such day was plum pie. These days, when most Geneva residents do not fast, nor are they Protestant, the plum pie or plum tart has become the righteous dessert. So if you didn't have the chance to buy it, I'm gonna teach you how to do it. It's quite simple. It's really not crazy at all. But plum pie was just something that was supposed to be eaten, and nowadays people, even though most of the people do not have a fixed religion or they're not Protestant, they still do eat the plum pie as in solidarity. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's get baking and I will see you at the end so we can try this tart. But for me, because I did not see any sugar in this, I've been looking around, I am gonna go and get myself vanilla ice cream because I'm gonna need some sweetener in this. This is my first time making this pie and trying it. Let's see. For our recipe, let's start with a crust. I'm gonna ask you to dissolve 9 grams of salt in 90 milliliters of water. Mix everything and make sure that all the salt has been dissolved. Then I'm gonna ask you to grab 300 grams of flour and 150 grams of butter. Making sure that everything is scaled because that makes a difference. And grab your hand mixer because it's gonna take some time until the butter and the flour have dissolved and created the perfect crust. While you combine everything, add the water slowly. This took me roughly 5 minutes and it's the perfect crust. I know you don't see any sugar in it, but it actually makes a difference. I hate the crust that is too fluffy. I hate the crust that tastes like cake or cookie dough. So this is the perfect mixture for me. Once all the crust is ready, I'm gonna ask you to move this to the fridge and leave it there for 30 minutes because you want the butter to solidify for a bit longer before you are ready to bake. Now that you leave the dough to rest in the fridge for approximately 30 minutes, you can grab your prunes and wash them carefully and remove the pits inside. You can either slice the prunes. In my case, I just cut them in half because I did enjoy it more than having it cut in slices. I realized when I cut them in slices, it became almost like a puree once baked, and I didn't like that texture. So slice them in half and remove the pit. I cut around 1.2 kilos of prunes in half and placed them on a bowl and added 3 tablespoons of sugar.
Can you bring
You can add more prunes
vegan
if you want. That's
vanilla ice
no
cream?
stopping you in there. Once you have all of that ready, make sure that you add some sugar. I added about 3 tablespoons of sugar to the prunes because these prunes were a bit too tart for my taste, and I was scared it would not be tasty. Once your prunes have been cut and rested, I'm gonna ask them to remove the pie crust from the fridge, and we're gonna roll it with a rolling pan. Roll your crust to the thickness you like. I like to leave at least 2 centimeters, 1.5 to 2 centimeters of thickness in my crust. If you want to get the perfect pie crust, I'm gonna ask you to follow the following tips. Start by having a cold dough. So you gotta chill your dough at least twice. One before you start rolling, another one before you bake. Use a heavy solid rolling pin. Roll over the center outwards. So make sure that you roll the dough starting from the center, applying even pressure as you move outwards in every direction. And roll to the right size. If you are unsure about the size that you need, invert the pie pan over the rolled dough to ensure that it's at least 2 centimeters extra dough all around. Fix cracks with care, so you gotta make sure that if there is any additional cracks on the dough, gently press them back together and smooth out the surface. Once again, you gotta chill the pie before you bake it, but you gotta work quickly as well. Cold is your friend when handling pie dough. Work quickly to keep the dough from warming up too much. If your dough is prone to sticking, a pastry cloth can help absorb extra flour and make the rolling out dough easier without overworking it. I hope this helps. I have my pie crust on the pie pan, so I'm gonna make sure to poke some holes in the crust for the crust to breathe, and add a mixture of 2 times hazelnut crumble, 1 time flour, and I'm gonna add it to the bottom of the dough. Add our fruit filling, which is our prunes that have been marinating in the sugar for the past 30 minutes. Assemble the pie the way you like it, make it as pretty as you want or not. And once everything is on top, you can also add the additional juice that comes from letting the prunes inside, from letting the prunes marinate in the sugar. Once all is set, you are ready to bake. Now that our pie is set, all the ingredients are here, we're gonna bake this at 170 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. You want it slow and steady. Don't pretend it is good enough.
No, I like it. What do you mean, don't pretend? It's nice. Not too sweet.
You don't like sweet.
Fruity. It's all the juice from the fruits.
Yeah. Maybe you could put not gelatin. I don't know. To make it a bit more solid. Because you want it, but I wouldn't think it would be necessary.
No.
Thank you for watching. Ciao. We love you.
It's good, no? But I think it would be better with the ice cream.
That's not part of the tradition.